the channel. My name is Margot. I am a tarot reader, a professional tarot reader, technically. And I wanted to talk about clearing our decks today. So I'm going to give you, I think, 5 different methods that I personally use to clear my tarot decks. Clearing your deck is very, very important. There's a couple of reasons why. First and foremost, when you are reading from your tarot deck, each time that you touch your tarot deck, each time that you shuffle it, each time that you ask it a question, each time that it gives you an answer, energy is being put into your deck. Your deck is very susceptible to spiritual energies in general. So when you're constantly reading your tarot deck, you're putting energy in. Now, if you don't keep up with cleansing your deck, then your deck's going to get kind of muddy and murky. If you can feel the energy, it might feel a little bit heavier than normal. The cards won't flow as easily. The messages are not going to be very clear. It could provide for a lot of confusion and difficulty reading the messages. The other point of concern with why we clear our tarot decks is that there are negative energies. There's negative energies that float around sometimes. And again, like I said, your decks are very susceptible to energy, especially if you haven't cleared them in a while and they are nice and murky and muddled. They are susceptible to negative energies. So if you are trying to read your cards and you keep getting like negative messages and negative perspectives and negative cards, or everything's stuck and just not feeling right, you probably just need to clear your deck. So there are a bunch of different ways to clear your tarot decks. I'm just going to give you the ways that I personally use, but if these don't vibe with you, just continue on your journey for researching and finding different ways to clear decks. I wish you well. But like I said, I'm going to go over 5. And this works for tarot as well as oracle. I have 2 here that I'm going to be clearing today with you guys. So yeah, both work same way. So I'm going to start with my tarot deck. This is my Morgan Greer tarot deck. And step number 1, or option number 1, is just shuffling. I'm serious, just shuffling. But it is the intention that matters. So it's shuffling with the intention to clear. You're not asking a question, you're not putting energy into the deck, you are taking energy out of the deck. You are asking your angels and your guides to clear and dust off the energy. You might find yourself shuffling in ways that you don't normally shuffle when you're putting energy into the deck. Just play around, shuffle what feels right. You can also do some things like this, just throwing the cards down, mixing them up, mixing them around. Just play with your cards, but do it with a mindset of clearing. This I would recommend that you do every single time that you pick up your cards. This is the method that I would do before you ask your cards a question or before you start warming up with your cards. Just do a quick energy clearing with them. Get all the old energy out. Trusting your messages are going to be probably a lot more positive, but definitely a lot clearer. All right, shifting to my oracle deck, I'm going to do method number 2 on this deck. And method number 2 is our good and trusty sage. Sage works for everything, I swear, that you're trying to clear. So clearing yourself, clearing your cards, clearing your crystals, clearing your house. Dried sage is fantastic. I currently have some black dried sage. So that is what we are going to be using. So of course you just light your sage up. And there's a couple of different methods that I do to get all the smoke working within the cards and in the deck. So we get a nice burn going. Now you can start pretty simple and easy and just kind of do all of the sides and the face and the back and just kind of getting the energy all around. Again, as always, intention is pertinent. The mindset that you have of just clearing your deck does half the battle for you than anything else that you're using. Gotta go ahead and light this again. I also like to hold the sage right next to my cards and kind of grab them like this and just allow the smoke to flow through. I will flip the deck over and do the other side. I will also flip the deck upside down, do the same thing, just kind of get all angles, play around with it, just getting the smoke through the cards. And as I go through this and as I'm getting this smoke in there, I of course like to mix in that shuffling piece and just shuffle them as well and make sure that we are getting an even, nice spread of clearing, cleansing energy throughout all of these cards. So just kind of play around with it, play around. Oh, we got a card that's popping out. I'm curious. Let's see what it is. Oh, nah. It's not resonating, didn't resonate. You can also use incense. I'm sure that there are particular incense that are better for clearing than others. But honestly, again, intention is half the battle. If you set the intention, you can just even use the smoke of the incense to clear your cards. Ultimately, you're not limited with how you clear your cards. There's not a set way to do it. There's not any rules. I mean, there's not really rules with spirituality or tarot practices in general. You just kind of do what feels right to you. So I'm just giving you some prompts and some ideas, but run with these and do what feels natural to you. Switching back to my tarot deck, I'm gonna do another method on this deck, and that is flame. Fire. Fire is very purifying and cleansing. So oftentimes I will actually take incense and burn my incense, leaving the flame going, and I will use that. But you can also just use your lighter. Obviously, don't burn yourself or your cards. Again, intention is half the battle, but flame does clear as well. It also kind of locks in and seals in the clearing that you're doing. I've noticed that's kind of how I will feel about it. So this can be a nice step to do at the end. But again, up to you. It's however you feel it, but that's another option. The fourth option is breath. This one is definitely my favorite, I think. Besides sage, obviously, and shuffling. Okay, no, I like all of them. Whatever. So breath. So literally just try not to pass out. I'm just kind of moving your cards with your breath, and again, of course, with the intention being set that your breath is providing clarity and cleansing and clearing through and brushing off any unpure energies that are trying to stick to your deck. You're just clearing the cards. So yes, your own breath works as well. You can also do some breath work as you're shuffling, not actually breathing on the cards, but you can just take some deep breaths as you shuffle with the intention of clearing. Last but not least, I'm going to talk about using crystals. So I think my personal favorite is using a selenite wand to clear my cards, but you can use whatever crystal calls to you. Selenite is just what I use mostly for clearing. You can get little selenite wands. They come in all shapes and sizes, and they're not that expensive. But I also store my decks with crystals. That's more of a charge scenario because you want to clear your cards and you want to charge them. And I can do another video on different methods of charging your cards. But crystals can also be used to clear. Frankly, I like to just hold on to this crystal as I just shuffle through my cards and shuffle them around and move them around and just kind of get them in the aura of the crystal and just allow for the crystal to purify it. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Keeping up with clearing your deck's energy, like you just saw, like those 5 steps, those 5 methods, pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory, pretty intuitive as well, and interpretive. You can do whatever you want with these methods. Some of these methods could have sparked another idea in you where you're like, ooh, I wonder if that's gonna work. Just try it. You should be able to feel, hopefully, I don't know, but you should be able to feel in some way the energy of your deck and tell if it's clear or if it's not. Typically, I find that clear energy feels very sparkly, and it's light. It's lighthearted. I can move my deck easily. It flows easily. I'm getting chills. I have chills all over my body right now from doing this. It's typically kind of cold, a little bit cold oftentimes. So, but also kind of it's cold, but it's like prickly, fevery kind of cold. You know what I mean? Where it's kind of like a little sweaty, but it's cold. So practice clearing your cards, I would say daily. I'd say daily. I'd say every time that you use them. I'd say anytime if you read for other people, especially if you let anyone else touch your cards, clear them, but clear them before and after you use them. These methods are super simple. You can do them in a couple of minutes. I also would recommend having multiple methods so that you're kind of cross-attacking it and making sure that you're getting all of the energy nice and clear. But yeah, if you have started reading tarot and you've just come across that you're supposed to clear your cards, I hope that this video has helped, or I hope that this video has provided some people with just some different methods or ideas of how to clear your energy of your cards. Last note before I go, I will say that it is very important to also keep your own energy clear, because if you clear your cards and you clear your deck but you don't clear your energy, the second you start touching your cards, the impurities in your aura are going to go right to your deck. Like I said, your decks are very, very susceptible to energy, so treat them with care, treat them with love. If you want a video on how to charge your decks up with good energy and kind of get them working stronger, more intensely, sure thing. I like those words. Let me know. If you liked this video, obviously give it a thumbs up. If you vibe, then subscribe to me. I post about once a week, just tarot spiritual-esque videos. Check out my links in the description if you want to see me on other stuff. Otherwise, I hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for stopping by.